Welcome to the first module in our rubrics training, where we go from don't know what rubrics are, worried about rubrics, not sure what rubrics are useful for, to the power of how rubrics make your life easier. Our objectives: what is rubric, how rubrics promote equity, and how rubrics support student voice and choice. Thank you to those of you who filled out our little Mentimeter poll. Some of the words and phrases that came to mind for people: formative, creative learning options, data-driven, but we also things like stressful and anxiety. And that comes a lot from when we don't have choice in how we show our learning, and we don't have confidence in showing our learning. Right? The way we grade should be so transparent and understandable that every student can know their grade at any time and know how to get the grade she wants. Rubrics allow for this. Students want to feel successful and confident in school. They want engaging and challenging tasks. They want the knowledge that success is attainable. They want to see themselves progress from new to what they've learned, and now they have mastery. They want to feel in control of the conditions that determine their success. We all do. They want to know there's help when they need it. And a lot of this is building that trust in relationships between the teacher and the student. And again, rubrics are one way that we can bring transparency to our grading and build that trust. They also would like regular feedback, don't we all? So that they are not getting to the end and then finding out that they've messed it up, or that they've been completely off track, or they've missed something. If they're getting regular feedback throughout, that helps them keep and give you what you are looking for. All right. A lot of research has been done, and it has been found that African American students have lower general trust than most other racial and ethnic groups, especially relative to white Americans. So a lot of that is, why would you put in the effort if you don't think it's going to matter because the teacher doesn't like you? And sometimes there's not much you can do about that. Because sometimes these are the students that you have trouble making relationships with. Having a rubric clears a lot of that up, so students know exactly how they got their grade, and that it has nothing to do with the relationship we have. Now, I'm not saying don't build relationships. With grading shouldn't be where the relationship is. All right. You can use state or national standards for your rubrics. Rubrics should have what is being assessed and how the task is being measured. In my district, we use a scale of 1 to 4. 4 being excellent, that is exactly what we're looking for. 3, you've got it. 2, you're almost there. And a 1, you're going to need some help to get there. Okay. You can also use your own standard or criteria. For instance, here, students will identify the most important words in a search question to get the best internet search. In my technology integration class, I was teaching how to be most effective when looking for information in a Google search. I have specifically what I'm looking for in their product so that I know they have mastered what I have taught them. In traditional grading, the teacher's the only expert. The teacher knows what makes an A grade, and the student wonders, is this grade because the teacher likes or dislikes me? Once you add in rubrics, students know exactly what's expected of them to get the grade they want, and the teacher's personal opinion of the student is not a factor. Performance is based on mastery. It also takes a lot of the, let's say, you had to do a PowerPoint presentation or Google Slides, whatever, and it's just text on the slide. It's not pretty, but that's not part of your grade because that has nothing to do with the standard being assessed in your science class. Rubrics promote metacognition. They should be used as teaching and learning tools. The strategies should help kids think about what they need to do for their learning. They should be used at the beginning for planning. Here's the beginning. This is what you're going to be expected to do. It should be used throughout the creation of the assessment, be it a paper, a poster, a video, whatever. They should be able to and encouraged to break out that rubric every so often to make sure that they are still on track. And before they turn it in, it should be looked at to make sure they have everything that they need before they turn it in, so that when we grade it, we can be very clear on the rubric where they have shown their rockstar fabulous mastery or where they still have areas of growth. And then when you give it back to them and walk them through the rubric and their score, because they will need help doing this, just handing it back, they're not going to know what to do with that. But it helps them know where they are in their mastery and are they ready to move on, or do they need to work on some things again. Rubrics promote voice and choice. There's no limits. Students are empowered by choosing how they show their learning, traditionally or individualized. A teacher does not have to know how to do the type of project that students choose. If you don't know how to use Toontastic, or you don't know how to use iMovie, or you don't know how to use Canva, doesn't matter. They will figure it out if they want to use it. You just need to know and be able to support their mastery of your content. They are not boring to make. They're not boring to grade. How many of us have sat through a day or 3 days of Google slide presentations that the kids just copied and pasted the information? Boring for us, boring for them, and I can read their slides faster than they can. It is much more interesting to them and to me when they have options to use their creative voices and ways that they feel confident in showing their learning. Some of the options could be when I taught ELA and I had short story, I had some students make puppet shows, some students write a comic, and some kids do a story in Toontastic. Also, there were some kids who did just want to write out a short story. All of that is just fine as long as my rubric is only about the mastery of the standards that I want to assess. Rubrics should have clear expectations for what students need to do to show they meet the standard or the criteria being measured. Criteria should be specific enough to prove mastery of content. If you give them choices, it should be general enough that students could use multiple options or modes to show their learning. So, like if you want a PowerPoint presentation and nothing else, then you can have things about the quality of their PowerPoint presentation. But if that's not your content, then don't have that on there so they have options. In conclusion, rubrics bring transparency to grading, are based on mastery of content, promote metacognition when they are used at the beginning, throughout creation, and at the end of assessments. Up next is your two great